Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. I'm going to now introduce us to our wonderful first guest, who is Mrs. Azeema Kazi, CEO of the Baluchi brand, authoress, humanitarian, clothing manufacturer, and best of all, mom of two. In our theme of resilience, we are really thrilled to have Azeema as an entrepreneur and restaurateur here today. Assalamu alaikum, Azeema, and welcome to Salam Media.
Walaikum salam, Shahista. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you've made time out of your busy schedule for this interview. And I think it was particularly important for us to have this conversation today because I know that you have a lot to bring to this interview and a lot to inspire other women by. So really, I'm very grateful that you've made the time for us. So, Azeema, one of the things that I've noticed is you call yourself a serial entrepreneur. Now, I'd like you to just take your time and explain this journey to us, in particular, of how you've come from being a young girl out of, college and then rearing into this role of an entrepreneur.
So, Shahista, I actually my journey started off in the motor industry. And that was many years ago. And I think a lot of the attributes that I've learned in the motor industry. So I spent over a decade in the motor industry. Remember, back at that time, I'm talking about 2004. It was a very male-dominated industry. Mm-hmm. So
Azeema, sorry, I seem to have lost your audio. I still can't hear you. Let's just take an ad while we get you back. Azeema, let's test your mic again. I don't hear you at all. Going to try that one more time. Let them try.
Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yassin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yassin Badat Financial Advisory at +27 33 346 2071 or visit www.yassinbadat.com. Yassin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
After the recent attacks on Gaza, many families have been displaced with their homes left destroyed. Through your donations, our teams are on the ground in Gaza, providing support and delivering necessary aid to families affected. The people of Gaza need your help. Give hope. Donate today to Penny Appeal South Africa. www.pennyappeal.org.za 031 1100 573.
We are here on the ground with Penny Appeal organizations in Gaza.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Hey Gulam.
Yeah?
Did I return your lawnmower last month?
No, bhai, you didn't.
Oh no. Now what'll I do? I wanted to borrow it again, man.
With Rendry Jewelers, you won't have to borrow or lend because the prices are so well trimmed on all gold and diamond jewelry. Alternatively, we could remake your old jewelry into a brilliant new design. Visit Randry Jewelers at 151 Stevens Lamini Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randry Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Attention drivers, revamp your ride with top quality tires at Best Drive Bromfontein. Our seasoned technicians guarantee a perfect fit for a smooth, safe journey. Choose from premium brands to budget-friendly options, all at competitive prices with special offers. From tire installations to brakes and shocks, we have all your vehicle needs covered. We also specialize in wheels, batteries, and suspension repairs. Get to meet our hands-on director, Mohammed Desai. With over 3 decades of experience, he ensures you receive exceptional service. Enjoy Salah facilities and a complimentary tea or coffee while you wait. Don't compromise on safety and performance. Ample parking available and full-time security on premises. Visit Best Drive Bromfontein today or call 011 837 4000 or 5000. We are 1 kilometer off the M1 highway. Take the Smith Street off-ramp towards Fortsburg, Fitas. Best Drive Bromfontein, where excellence meets service.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salam Media with myself, Shahista Thokan. This month we are talking resilience, and what better way to describe resilience than a technical glitch that tends to happen every now and again when you're live on radio. Assalamu alaikum, Azeema, and welcome back.
Wa alaikum salam, Shahista.
I'm so sorry about cutting you off earlier on with that issue, but let's go to the very first question again. Can you please describe to us your entrepreneurship journey that I would find very inspiring for others to hear?
So, Shahista, if I have to go back to, I actually worked for many years. I spent over a decade in the motor industry, and I was very young. And remember, at that time, we're talking about 2004. It was a very male-dominated industry, and I think that's where I learned firsthand how to fight with the big fish, how to negotiate hard. So in 2016, I got married, and I decided to open my own business. And I think while I was working, I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I wanted to work for myself, but I couldn't figure out what to do. And I remember asking my husband, "What do you think? What do you think I would do well at as an entrepreneur?" And then I decided to be an image consultant.
Yeah.
And I always believe, Shahista, that if you do something, you need to do it right. I studied a course part-time in image consultancy. And the reason I'm sharing the story is because there's something a key learning out of it. So after I qualified as an image consultant, I resigned and I opened my own image consultancy business. And something that stood out for me and will always stand out for me is it was a new business. I didn't know where I was headed, but I had a plan. And I've always been a very positive, ambitious person. And I remember calling up the guy that was going to do my website and my logo design. And I said, this is what I want. This is what my future plans are for the business. And, I gave him a breakdown of everything. He laughed at me. And he said, it's good to dream big. And that's something that has stayed with me because I will never forget that. And, along your journey in life, you realize that the people that didn't believe in you, the people that said you can't do something, have actually played a more pivotal role because it just drives you to do better. You just want to do better. You want to achieve more. So eventually I opened my image consultancy business, and Alhamdulillah, it grew to massive heights. My plan for it, and they always say Allah is the best of planners. And I was in no time styling A-list celebrities. I was all over the media because the business had grown to such unimaginable heights. I also did a lot of work for corporates. From there, I ventured out into having my own clothing brands. And my clothing brands, Shahista, is all about body positivity. So at that
Mm.
time, I had my first kid, and as women, we're very critical of ourselves.
Mm.
And I wanted to showcase a brand. I have three clothing brands, and one of my clothing brands, we focus. I don't call it plus size; it's actually plush size, because I
Okay.
don't think I don't think plus size is fitting. We should celebrate our curves. We should
Mm.
celebrate. I think gone are the days where we should look at stick figured models and think
Mm.
that that's how we should be looking. So from the styling business, I thought of, venturing and opening up three clothing brands, and my clothing brands being about body positivity and being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable and
Mm.
feeling confident.
Mm.
Often as women, we don't have the time because we're mothers, we wives, we daughters, we sisters. So I think it's about celebration of women and our
Mm.
identity, and not losing our identity. And then along the way, through the journey, I then wrote a book. I co-authored a book, and it's called The Secret to Finding Love. And I wrote that during COVID, maybe
Mm.
because I had some time. I don't know where, but I found some time.
Yeah.
And the book shares it talks a lot about loving yourself. So it's a
Mm.
self-love book, and I think even there, as women, we neglect ourselves, we doubt ourselves. So whether you're in a relationship or you're single or you're looking for a relationship, the book focuses about feeling good within yourself, and also
Mm.
being confident and having a high self-esteem. Because inevitably, if you love yourself and you have a high self-esteem, the type of partner that you attract into your life will be of similar values, who will have the same
Mm.
values as you. If you feel that you're not good enough, you're actually opening the door to someone, to a weakness that you have. So the book
Mm.
focuses a lot about yourself and how to develop yourself. Along the way, September 2019, I was 7 months pregnant. I had a 1 year old, and we decided to buy a restaurant. So
Okay.
the thing is, yeah, and then come 2020 was COVID. So,
Mm.
in terms of resilience, you spoke about resilience. I think that was the best time to test out your
Yeah.
resilience. Remember when COVID hit, the hospitality industry was hit really, really hard. I mean, the restaurants had to close down on
Mm.
level 5, like all other businesses. And Shesa, remember, this. It was the first time I went into a restaurant business, and I had a 1 year old, I had a newborn baby. It was an absolute nightmare. I
Mm.
learned very quickly that no matter what business model you can have the same business model for your businesses. But a restaurant business is actually very, very different from other businesses. And it's also very challenging. But at the same time, it
Mm.
can also be very rewarding. It initially started off as a passion project, and Alhamdulillah, fast forward a few years down the line, it's become a brand.
Mm.
Having said that, I mean, I think I've told you this as well. Baluchi is my third child. I'm extremely passionate about it. And, I think the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I've given my blood, sweat, and tears in the business.
Mm.
The restaurant business is not an easy business. For those
Cutthroat.
that look at the glitz and glam, not at all. Not at all. You've
Mm.
got to have a passion for it. You've got to really, really love what you do. I think you've got to be very consistent. You've got to be self motivated, because there are days I just want to go home and I don't want to come back. Because
Yeah.
in the restaurant business, I'm sure, like in any other business, but especially in the restaurant business, you have, let's talk about the challenges. The challenges,
Mm.
you have external factors, you have internal factors. And if we talk about, let's first talk about the external factors. And Shesta, I think one of the challenges is, I'm not sure if you'll agree with me, but being a woman, you've got to
Mm.
try so much harder. You've got to work so much harder. So I think that's one of the factors. Being a woman-owned business, you've got to constantly prove yourself. We live in a very superficial world, and gradually, with people like yourselves, wanting to empower women, I also run a lot of mentorship programs. We need to uplift each other. And if I tell
Mm.
you, Shasta, one of my biggest critiques are women.
Yeah.
It's surprising, but it's a reality. So if there's anyone that tries to put your business down, it's women. So you learn over time. Initially, it would bother me because I'm someone who I'll go out of my way, to uplift another woman, to see another female grow. And
So
it's
you would expect
unfortunate
that
that
same. Mm.
absolutely. And then I realized very, very quickly that it's not the case. And you become resilient. You're okay
Mm.
with that.
Mm.
Initially it would upset you. I would go home, I would be sad about it. And then I've learned to grow a thick skin, and I've learned to not lose focus of where I'm headed and achieve the goals that I want to, and not lose focus of that, because very quickly it can be very upsetting. Um,
Disheartening. Yes.
you,
So
you also
exactly
learn.
Exactly
Yes.
on that note of, I mean, I see a similar thread when you spoke about your journey. From the time you started with image consultancy, you had a naysayer, someone who told you couldn't do it. So that at that point, as a young person, that could have broken your confidence and you chose to be
Yes.
resilient. And then when you spoke about body positivity, that is something that our industry as a whole, needs to address, because there's a lot of issues where women actually are target other females for that exact reason. And having manufactured clothing, I'm sure you have discovered that our biggest critics are women, are other females.
Absolutely.
So in that industry, when you were creating these clothes, did you have any challenges on why you're creating for a certain size female? Were there any things that in your personal environment that you picked up in terms of bullying or being self-conscious? I mean, when we have kids, we become that person. So how
Yes,
did you
yes.
identify that niche to address, and why?
So one of the reasons, Shaisa, that I actually started one of the my first brands. I'm not sure if I can mention the brand names,
Yeah.
but so the one was called the one which focused a lot on the plush size. It was called Zeba Plush,
Mm.
and I started this brand shortly after I had kids, and I
Mm.
had put on 35 kilos, and it took me a long time to lose. It took me 2 years to lose that weight, but at that time, as women, you would cry in the shower because you were not happy with
Mm.
the way you looked. And I think it's more because of society. It's about people telling you how bad you're looking, people telling you that, oh my word, you've put on so much
Yeah.
of weight, and you didn't do this out of choice. You've birthed two kids, and
Yeah.
as a new mother, and I'm sure you can relate to that, the last thing that you worry about is yourself. You literally let yourself go because you have babies to take care of. You're busy trying to be a good wife. You're trying to juggle so
100%.
many balls in the air that you actually lose yourself. And that's something that I found. And remember, in the mix,
We seem to have lost Azeema. We'll head for a ad break while we try and get her back on. I think let's do that. Azeema, are you back? Okay.
0925 or visit 28 Zenderling Street, Rustenburg. Remember the name, Valley's Motor Spares.
The people of Palestine need your support now. Africa Muslims Agency is on the ground, already providing food, medication, and emergency supplies in Gaza. Donate any amount to Heal Palestine at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
When you give water, you're reaching out to drought-affected areas, bringing them to life. Fresh water to drink, to clean, and to grow. That's the power of water. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
Searching for elite local and international investment and advisory services from an award-winning firm? Look no further than the Belmont Mayer Group, your gateway to unparalleled investment and wealth management. At Belmont Mayer, we believe in the art of wealth creation, a meticulous process fueled by our unwavering commitment to excellence. With a focus on providing elite alternative investments and quality advice, we also pride ourselves on maximizing value for our esteemed investors, as seen through our consistent outperformance. Your financial success is our top priority. Join us at Belmont Mayer and experience the difference firsthand. Ready to embark on a journey of greatness? Contact us today. Reach out to the Belmont Mayer Group on 078 786 1698. Call or WhatsApp or email us at info@belmontmayer.com. Elevate your financial future with Belmont Mayer, where every detail matters.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salam Media. We are busy in conversation with Azeema Kazi, and just before the ad break, we spoke about body positivity, as well as the linked theme that I noticed between the clothing manufacturing for, the plus or plush size models, as Azeema said, to authoring a book on self-love. Now, the connection is quite evident that Azeema promoting these females to embrace who they are, accept who they are in whatever shape, form, that is currently their situation, because we all know nowadays there's so much that we can do to look good and feel good. So authoring this particular book on self-love, was it a cathartic process for you where you felt like it was self-healing in a way? So you've come full circle from being able to lose all that weight and become now the best version of yourself?
Absolutely, absolutely. Shahista, I remember so clearly, just as I finished the book, my personality took a complete 360, and people actually said, "Wow, Azeema, what happened?" And you can't really explain to people the personal journey that you go on, and the personal journey of loving yourself again and finding your identity. And there was something very important that I learned from it. I've always been a people pleaser, Shahista. I've always put everyone's needs first, aside from mine. And it was this turnaround that I had after launching my brands, after writing the book, where I've now put myself first. And I always believe, I'm a firm believer that I need to be happy. If I'm happy, then I'm a good wife, I'm a good mother, I'm a good daughter. So I think writing the book was very therapeutic for me. And I mean, I never saw myself as an author. I never thought that I could write a book. And when something flows effortlessly, the book is a very easy read. It's not a complicated read at all. It was just effortless, and that's when you realize, you're projecting from your own personal life's journey. And if I can, I live by the trait, Shahista, if I can impact positively just to one person a day, my job is done. If I can help someone, and I remember after writing this book, I was invited to Wits University, and I had to present a talk there about living unapologetically to a forum of women, and they were hearing impaired. And that would stand out to me for the rest of my life, because it was such a positive, and it was actually such an emotional talk. all the women in the room were actually crying. We had guys doing, the sign language and all of that.
Mm.
But it stood out for me because remember, these women doubt themselves. They don't have a high self esteem. So, just trying to uplift women and tell them that, what? You are doing your best. You're actually amazing. Whether you're a stay at home mom, whether you're a businesswoman, whether whatever you are, whatever walks of life you're venturing into, you are amazing. And I think if more women can spend time uplifting each other, it would be such a great win. We faced with so many challenges on a daily basis. I mean, as women, as you mentioned earlier as well, we're mothers. It
Mm.
takes a lot out of our plate. So the time that we do have, let's impact positively on each other and other women out there. I think that's just so important.
I think that's such a wonderful message to send out there. And also, it comes down to us being emotional beings as females. That's our
Yes.
huge strength. I think in any platform or any forum where we are chosen to speak, that humanness, that emotion that comes forward when we talk about our journeys is often resonates with the crowd and the audience, be it male or female,
Yes.
because
Yes.
men understand how much more it takes for women to achieve in this environment, taking to consideration we are mothers, we are sisters, we are, and they have their roles too, but let's face it, our plates are fuller, right? The second aspect of it is showing that true emotion to other females, because when we're authentic and we speak about our challenges, every one of us have similar or the same, and I
Yes.
think that's important. So competition aside, we need to collaborate more because we can understand each other better as the same sex,
Yes.
being females and women and so on. And what gets us most in industry, and you are on social media, as I am, is people that punt the woman empowerment but don't generally support it with actionable and implementations in terms of sharing our adverts, or
Yes.
rooting for us, listening to our interviews. And that's why, I'm grateful for Salam Media as a radio station, where they give the entire Women's Month to hosting such successful females as
That's
yourself.
amazing.
Now,
Yes, that's amazing.
Azeema, Alhamdulillah, I was privileged enough to attend the opening of your restaurant. And the one thing that stood out for me, and it's not the amazing food that was served, it was the ambiance of that particular evening, having your family there, having a lot of your friends there who are personally your support structure. How important is a support structure in the environment of an entrepreneur?
I think a good support structure, Shesa, is everything. It's everything. If you don't have a good support structure, I speak for myself. I mean, if I didn't have the support structure that I have, I wouldn't be able to do half the things that I'm able to do. I think it starts off with, Alhamdulillah, I've been blessed with an amazing husband. My husband lets me be. And coming to that, a lot of women, they ask me, how does your husband allow you to do this? How does your husband allow you to do this? And I look at them and I say, if the word allow is used in a relationship, there's something wrong. You should respect each other to know where your boundaries are. But also, I think it's important. My husband is an absolute introvert and I'm an absolute extrovert. So
Yeah.
I think he knows the type of personality that I have and he lets me be. He lets me be. He's a huge support system of mine. And, I have my family, I have my parents, I have my sisters, I have my nieces, and I have the most amazing friends. I mean, my friends, I actually get teary eyed when I speak about my friends because if it wasn't for my friends and the support that I have from them, on those days when things are looking deep and dark, I have friends, and with kids,
How do
having
you
little kids, I have.
cultivate? How do you cultivate those good people in your life? What is it that you find is important to have in these relationships that keep them as supportive as they are?
So I think one of the most important attributes in any, whether it's a relationship, whether it's friendship, is authenticity and just being genuine and being yourself. And I often find that when you're fake, you're not real. You tend to attract the same type of people in your life. I'm me. I'm a very genuine person. What you see is what you get with me, and I tend to attract the same type of people into my life because my circle of friends are a reflection of me. So if people meet my friends, that should be a direct reflection of who Azeema is. And alhamdulillah, my circle of friends are just like me. They down to earth, they humble. Humility for me is everything.
Yeah.
I am not a superficial person. I don't live in a superficial world. Yes, we like nice things, but that does not form the base of my life and my existence. And my friendships are authentic. They're real. I have friendships, that go into. I have friends that I'm friends with for like 30 years. I believe very strongly in relationships, and I'm very, very big on genuine relationships, friendships, any
We
type of
spoke about something
business.
so interesting yesterday in one of our interviews. We spoke about the fact that you are, as you said, a representation of who you're with, right? So keeping that friendship circle small is important because it's manageable, it's maintainable. But also, there's moments where we outgrow certain people in our lives. Either
Yes.
we are wanting to pursue more education or wanting to pursue further goals and ambitions. And some people genuinely are just comfortable staying where they are. So I have
Yes.
had this in personal female friendships where you cannot have the same conversations all the time. It becomes boring, the energy becomes draining sometimes. So I am of the belief that we constantly evolving and we constantly surrounding ourselves by people that fulfill us, as well as
Yes.
us fulfilling
Yes.
them. And I think the most important, if you look at how social media is, Azeema, especially with us, we put our visual CVs out there, what we're doing, who we are, with absolutely no room for any criticism because we're so confident in what we're doing.
Yes.
And having those boundaries that you spoke about, yes, they are brilliant, because if you have a spouse or a support structure, a father even, that recognizes that you are aware as an adult of your actions having repercussions, and allowing you to go through that growth phase of failing, of getting embarrassed, of being fearful for you, but allowing you to adult, I think that's the most
Yes.
liberating
It's
feeling.
so
And
important.
Azeema, you share the same relationship where you're given a lot of freedom and a lot of independence. And you spoke about being very different from your spouse. I'd like you to share with women out there, what do you think is important then in that relationship to keep a person secure, or keep your support structure aware that you still know what you're doing and they can trust or lean on you?
So, I speak for myself, Shahista, and I'm sure a lot of people would resonate with that. In order to keep your relationship secure, for example, something very small. I'm out and about most of the day. I'm in and out of meetings. I have a very, very busy schedule. But I go home every day and I have dinner with my husband and my kids. So in the mornings, I spend that time with my husband. I drop my kids off at school. So I think striking a balance is really,
Mm.
really important. Alhamdulillah, I'm with my husband. We're together for 14 years. We married for 9 years, and he knows the type of person that I am. That even though I'm an absolute extrovert, social butterfly, my
Yeah.
values, my mom always instilled this value with us, and she always told us that you can be the president of the country, and when you walk through that door, you're someone's wife, so you behave
Yeah.
like that. So, we have a very liberated relationship. But at the end of the day, he's my husband, and he has the final say. So, it's
Mm.
actually a running joke. A lot of people think that I wear the pants in the house. I don't. So, it's
And
not
I
a
think
matter
it
of
speaks to the personality that we are. We're just more outspoken. We're just more
yes,
out
yes,
there, and we have an opinion. And I think that comes, the strength that we have comes from the rearing from our fathers. Our fathers have always given us a say at the table. I mean,
absolutely.
I know your dad for many years, and I know the type
Yes,
of man he is. And he stands for woman empowerment, and he's got
yes,
daughters, and he
yes,
understands that we need a voice, whether it's in our relationships, in our work environments, and so on. So leading to that, I think, as you're saying, people assume the role that we play in our homes. But I always say, as a coach, when I do marriage counseling, is you can be the strongest, you can be the most successful, you can be the financially most independent female. But when a man in your relationship, especially in your marriage, chooses to do something that breaks that, they actually break a part of you. Allah has
yes,
created us where marriage is half of our iman. We are
Of course.
created from the rib of man. So, of course, we are going to be deeply affected if something should happen to that sanctity of marriage. And I think that's really
100.
important that you touched on that point of, people seeing us one way as these free spirits out there, out and about
Yes.
in media, living our best lives, dressing the way we do, speaking the way we do, and then judging us for it. And I love the fact that there is a saying that I always tell my children: we just sin differently. You sin differently from me. So if mom doesn't wear a
100%.
scarf, mom goes where she needs to go, and whether it's at night or during the day, I am aware of my creator. I am aware of my sin. And then giving that to the next person is also important, that own yourself for the imperfect human that you are. And I love, Azeema, that you spoke about authenticity. Now, let's just get back to your restaurant. You've now opened a second baby, right? So it was
Yes.
Baluchi, which is an Indian restaurant. I remember the menu because I've eaten there. And then the second one is a grill house. What made you add more and more to your plate now?
Well, Teresa, I think I'm a bit crazy because 2 weeks before I opened Grill House, I thought to myself, I'm doing this again. Am I okay? I don't think so because I promise you, the late nights, it's crazy. But at the end of the day, the A-type personality wouldn't allow me not to want to grow. So the Baluchi brand, just to tell you about the Baluchi brand, I've got the Baluchi restaurant. And then I also have Baluchi Fit, which falls under the brand. It's fit meals. We also play a huge role in the corporate space. So we have Baluchi Corporate and Culinary Designing, which is another subsidiary brand. And now we have Baluchi Grill House. So one of the biggest reasons that drove me to open up another restaurant and a grill house, we lack, Shasta, I think in Johannesburg, we don't really have a halal fine dining option. There are very few halal fine dining options. And also in terms of a grill house, I try and benchmark along towards the Dubai standards. And I wanted to create an experience for our Muslim people, not so that they don't have to go to non-halal places. And also bearing in mind fine dining. I think everyone can call themselves fine dining, but there's actually an art to it. Fine dining has a different type of experience. I mean, if you come to my restaurant, if you go downstairs to Baluchi and you come upstairs, you can automatically see the shift and the change, and you're entering a fine dining space.
Identity difference.
Complete different identity. And I think, what, there's such a lack within the Muslim businesses, and I found that there was a gap in the market, and I just thought, let me venture into this market and see where it takes me. Alhamdulillah, we're very new, very, very new, but we've had the most amazing response. And I think, it's so exciting on a weekend to see people dress up and come to this fine dining restaurant because they're excited about it. And me being the social butterfly that I am, I'd walk around talking to the customers, and some of them would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're not as dressed up for this environment and this fine dining experience." And it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy because I feel that, I've achieved what I wanted to. I wanted to create a space for Muslim people to wine and dine. I say that conservatively, but to have a place that they can dress up, they can come to, they can experience this entire fine dining. And you've been to the restaurant, you've seen fine dining. It's not only about just sitting in a place that looks good or the ambiance is good. It's about the entire experience. It's the timing between meals. It's the way the meals are served, the way it's cleared up, the way the knowledge from the staff, your waiters, the way they serve the food, the direction in which they serve the food. So it's all of that. And I felt that, there's such a gap in the market, and let me try and, see how it goes. So far, so good. Obviously, teething problems, like any business's challenges, but so far, so good.
Alhamdulillah, look, we wish you all the best. I think it's amazing that you found this particular niche in the market that you want to cater for. And, just hearing your journey, hearing the different aspects of the different ways in which you've risen to the challenge of life and just shown true entrepreneurship spirit. I think that for me is remarkable. And I'm so glad to have you in my friend circle. And, having known your dad for so many years. It's almost like I'm part of the family after
Yes, you've like
experiencing
watched me grow up.
that, right? So, Alhamdulillah, I think putting women in these spaces of media where we showcase and we appreciate and we applaud you, Azeema, as one of the females this month on Salam Media for Women's Month. I think it's so important that we get these situations out there and we share these lovely conversations as two females who are admiration for each other. Thank you so much again for your time. And I really appreciate the interview. I really appreciate that you've given the authenticity across in the interview, and inshallah to many more conversations and coffees.
Jazakallah so much for having me, and to Salam Media for showcasing me on this platform. It was really nice chatting to you, and yeah, inshallah, Ameen to all of our new ventures.
Inshallah. Take care and wish you all the
thanks,
best.
Shahista.
We're just going to cross to an ad break before our second interview of the show.